Welcome back. You are still watching Morning Live. A final look now at your sport news for today. Now, cricket is under the spotlight after the great exploits of the Springboks, and today the Proteas played an important match against the much improved Afghanistan. And what is at stake? Well, should South Africa lose, they could be up fourth and take on tournament hosts India, who humbled them in the round-robin stages. And to talk about this and other important cricketing matters, we've roped in former Proteas Captain Graeme Smith. Graeme, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us on Sports on Morning Live.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's good to catch up with you again. It's been a while.
It has been a while. Someone else who says it's been a while is Leanne behind me. She says a very, very good morning to you. Graeme, let's just start and chat about the fixture today with South Africa and Afghanistan. How do you see that one playing out? Because we're going up against a much improved Afghanistan side. I mean, we saw how well they played in that encounter against Australia as well.
Yeah, I think it's an important day for us, not in terms of qualification because we're there, but just in terms of our own confidence and ability to bounce back after what was a very tough game against India. I think if you take the tournament across the board, I think the team has performed really well. I think sort of eight of our top players have had outstanding tournaments, but now getting towards the back end, it has been long, and you need kind of those big performances now. So I think today is a day that you want to see players really find their best. Clear their minds out, get confidence. I think they're also getting an opportunity to see the stadium in Ahmedabad for the first time. It's a massive stadium, over 100,000 people can fit in there. And if we do, and hopefully we do get to the final, that's where it's going to be staged.
And you speak about getting to the final, but before we get to the final is, of course, the semis where we still have to figure out who we're going to be up against. But what do you make of how it seems at this World Cup chasing has been our difficulty? And would you say that this is something that can still be fixed during this tournament? Because it's almost like every time there's a toss, we hope we win that toss so we can bat first.
I think it's a bit of a chicken and egg for us, really, to be honest. I think in a lot of our games, people have put us into bat first, and we've really played superb cricket doing it that way. I think when bowling first, you also, it's not only the batters chasing, but your bowlers need to set the tone for you in the first 50 overs. And, so both need to work together. So you need to bowl well, you need to, control the first 50 overs and obviously make the chase as easy as possible. I think we were absolutely blown away against India from ball one with the ball and with the bat. We just had a terrible day. So I still believe that it's not an issue. I think there's enough talent there, the freedom with which they've played. I think the chase against Pakistan in Chennai on a slow wicket was an important moment for us. But listen, getting to these crunch phases, it's about getting the job done. You saw the Boks in tough situations managed to get the job done with small margins, but got it done. And that's really where the Proteas need to be. Having been in a few semi-finals myself, I'm really hoping that this will be the time that the guys can get into that final.
Yeah, no, you speak about those small margins. That Pakistan game, I almost switched off the TV and I was like, I just cannot do this anymore. But something else I want to touch on, Graeme, is just having our players play in some of the big leagues in the world. We look at the IPL and how that has aided us in having the likes of an André Nokia who can come into this tournament and perform well. How important is it for our players to get that type of exposure?
Yeah, I think it's important on a number of levels. I mean, the growth that you get as a cricketer is huge, but also the growth in terms of the cultures that you live in and you associate with. I think it's also an exposure to a lot of other top players around the world, and also different styles of thinking and strategy that opens your mind. I think, if I think about SA20 in South Africa, you've got Stephen Fleming coaching in the Joburg Super Kings. I mean, for the majority South African squad to be exposed to someone like him is just incredible. He just comes with a wealth of cricketing knowledge as a player and now as a coach. You see how hugely successful he's been. So, these type of assets that you bring into the game and expose players to can only strengthen our cricketing landscape.
Indeed, and you already touched on the SA20, Graeme, when we know it's coming around once again. Let's talk to what the expectations are this time around in terms of the players that we can be expecting to see, the coaches, and what can we expect? Anything new this time around, or is it just bigger and better all around?
Yeah, I mean, I think, bigger and better, but a lot of it is about, giving our fans an incredible experience. I mean, we do have big ambitions to be the number one sport and entertainment brand in South Africa. So we do spend heavily in terms of that in-stadium experience and allowing the fans that come to support us, that they leave with a feeling of a great sense of occasion and they've had a wonderful time. But at the core, as you mentioned, is that we'll always be a cricket product. And actually, I think we've got a better cricketing group of players this year than we even had in season one, which is incredible. I think the international talent that our teams have been able to put together is of high class. We're going to see new sort of West Indians like Pollard and Purran join us. You've got Nabin al-Haq, Rashid Khan, Josh Butlers, just to name a few. Moeen Ali's coming across to join the Joburg team. So there's an incredible amount of talent coming on the international side. But I think, the core of teams are made up of South African players, and I think our South African stars will be there, as well as seeing that younger group of players really, go from strength to strength. And this year, a nice asset was, rookie player. We've got, I think there's 4, if memory serves me right, 17-year-olds that have joined the squads this season. So lots of talking points, and I'm really looking forward to the cricket this season.
And of course, that auction, we know the last time around there was just some questions around our captain not being bought at the auction. But I also want to speak to, how do people at home that love the SA20 and want to get involved, how do they get involved? What are the dates? How do people purchase their tickets? Talk me through that process.
Yeah, well, tickets are live now for the last 6 or 7 days. You just sa20.co.za. If you go into our site, they're available there. We're running some specials at the moment, 20 for 20,000. There'll be lots of specials along the way. Obviously, there's different wide range of ticketing. We're trying to, attract a new audience to the game and revive the cricketing fans in South Africa. We really want to bring a real sense of happiness to summer. I think, for us, that January, February, we're live with marketing campaigns now and really, look to have a great summer of cricket, and with SA20 to really stand out through Jan and Feb. And, I think last year standing in those stadiums, seeing the fans having a good time inside cricket stadiums was a real goosebump moment for me. And hopefully we can redo it again.
Oh, Graeme, thank you so much for taking time to chat to us this morning. And I must also say, you don't look like a man that's retired, because you look like you could just get straight into the field and go knock some boundaries there.
That's very kind of you. My jeans and my shirts will probably speak the opposite, but no, thank you. I appreciate it. I need to get on the treadmill very soon.
All right, so thank you so much, Graeme. Have a blessed weekend.
Yes, you too. Bye.
All right, to Graeme Smith there, talking all things about the SA20, and of course the big one, South Africa's Proteas today going up against Afghanistan. Just almost a dress rehearsal in terms of getting ready for the big semi-final. We're still yet to find out who we will face off against in that. All right, that's how we wrap up your sport news for the week. Do remember, tomorrow Soweto Derby, you can catch it on SABC 1, and on Sunday the AFL final also on SABC 1.